This narrative is crucial for Moscow's image of an unstoppable military machine with endless supplies to crush any opposition. But that story is a deceptive facade. Russia has only come this far thanks to its allies, with North Korea emerging as one of its most critical lifelines. Now, a vital logistical artery connecting Russia to its Pyongyang arms supply has been spectacularly severed, proving nowhere in Russia is safe. News of Ukraine's latest long-range strike deep inside Russia broke on November 14th, reporting an explosion on the legendary Trans-Siberian Railway. This area is over 6.600 kilometers from Ukraine, beyond the range of Kyiv's best drones and missiles. Clearly, something else happened. That something was a brilliantly executed sabotage operation, coordinated with Ukraine's main intelligence directorate, or HER. The HER stated on Telegram that on November 13th, an explosion blocked goods on the Trans-Siberian Railway, a key artery for weapons from North Korea. They then taunted Moscow, saying, "The Kremlin's special services once again demonstrate their inability to ensure effective control over even the most critical infrastructure." In other words, Ukraine is sending a blunt message to Putin. Attacks like this should not be possible for a supposed military superpower. A video shared by Euromaidan Press reveals how HER agents conducted the attack, planting explosive devices on an unguarded section of the track. Now, Russia faces the bitter truth that Ukraine has agents operating deeper in its territory than Putin can have ever imagined. And Ukraine won't let him forget it. The HER ended its post with a warning: the work to disrupt the enemy's logistical capabilities continues. This became prophecy when Ukraine followed up with another strike just days later, on November 16th, by the pro-Ukrainian partisan group Sabotage. Operating in occupied Zaporizhia, Sabotage burned a relay cabinet on a railway just 50 kilometers from the front line, halting Russian military trains. In fact, Ukraine has been targeting Russia's rail system for months. On October 21st, an explosion hit a key line in the Leningrad region. The blast damaged the track and set fire to a freight train that United 24 media reported was carrying military cargo. The Trans-Siberian Railway is a marvel of Russian engineering and a symbol of its war machine, stretching 9.288 kilometers across the country. It is the logistical aorta of Russia. Almost nothing moves long distance without it, and it has been vital since its completion in 1916. Putin once declared, "A direct rail link across Eurasia will become the main transportation artery between Europe and the Asia-Pacific region." He wasn't wrong. Modernization has been ongoing, but Ukraine's attack is the last thing Putin wanted while trying to sustain his invasion. Russia and North Korea have been allies for years, but they formalized their military pact with a mutual defense treaty in June. Think of it as Putin's version of NATO's Article 5, timed so he could legally accept North Korean aid if Ukraine attacked Russian territory. Months later, Ukraine launched a counter-offensive into Russia's Kursk region. This was the pretext Putin needed to call for North Korean troops. But North Korea was supplying Russia long before the treaty. In April 2025, a North Korean-made missile killed 12 people in Kyiv. President Zelensky stated, "If this information is confirmed, this will be further proof of the criminal nature of the alliance between Russia and Pyongyang." But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The Guardian noted North Korea had supplied Russia with at least 148 ballistic missiles by early 2025. Then there are the artillery shells. Millions of them, according to Reuters, with some Russian artillery units completely dependent on North Korean shells. A former UN expert stated, "North Korea's contribution has been strategically vital. Without Kim Jong-un's support, Putin couldn't really prosecute his war." No wonder Ukraine wants to destroy the Trans-Siberian Railway. Putin knows this, so Russia is building a new road bridge to North Korea. But this bridge is another sign that Russia now needs North Korea far more than North Korea needs Russia. The power dynamic has flipped. As one analyst told Al Jazeera, North Korea is now a more important ally to Russia than Iran or China. Now, with Ukraine destroying the railways used to transport the dwindling supply of shells, Pyongyang must wonder how long it can sustain this. The more pressure Ukraine applies, the more North Korea can demand from Putin, who can't afford it as his war drains Russia's finances.